I assume that'll give it a little bit more context. Context big right now on the internet.
Oh,
that's cool.
Neat.
I'm happy the bloodbath situation's taking place so that maybe we can continue, to be like, what's the context of what the person's saying? Mm-hmm. Because as people that have been, thrown right into the fire without any context, I'm happy that there's a little bit more of a, wait a minute, should we maybe hear how that was said or what that was said about? It's a good thing. Shout out to X doing that.
Yeah, keep that going.
Yeah, let's keep that rolling. That was wild.
Needed.
I was like, as I was watching it all unfold on my algae, I'm like, somebody thank you finally addressing this, because I think everybody does. And it's not to blame the people that read the things that are out of context for feeling the way you feel, because what you are being told is certainly something that should make you feel that way. But what a lot of us are saying is that person's trying to make you feel that way by saying that. They're trying to make us look like assholes. That is not the context of the entire clip. So I'm happy that we're potentially entering a time where we are going to try to gather context around things. That's good for society.
Yeah, it is.
That's exactly what we're trying to do right now.
Boy, the times are changing in the sports media world, and they're changing fast. Pat McAfee will undoubtedly get dragged for what he just said. He actually thanked X, essentially Elon Musk, for bringing back context. The bosses over at ESPN can't possibly be liking what they're seeing unfold. But I'm not sure why, because the head of ESPN, Jimmy Pitaro, wanted to see the network become more political. He actually said that he's open to more political conversations happening on ESPN. But we know what Jimmy Pitaro really meant. He wants to see more liberal political views talked about on ESPN. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, Pitaro said he has become more open to the idea of network personalities weighing in on hot-button social and political issues. Surely this has nothing to do with the upcoming presidential election in November. If you still watch ESPN, get ready for the deluge of the get out the vote messaging. And no doubt, most of the on-air personalities over at ESPN will be encouraged to spew their liberal woke BS. Unfortunately for Jimmy Pitaro, those ESPN hosts with the biggest audiences, Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee, may not be going along with the program. I've posted videos recently showing you that Stephen A. Smith is really questioning Joe Biden. But now, things also seem to be heating up with Pat McAfee. McAfee has been a thorn in the sides of the ESPN bosses since they brought him on board. I don't know for sure who Pat McAfee is going to be voting for, but given his statements, I kind of have an idea. And now with his show not doing so well in the ratings on ESPN, his days may be numbered there. Now don't get me wrong, the Pat McAfee show still does huge numbers on YouTube, but not so much on ESPN. That's probably because his fans aren't watching ESPN. They left broadcast television a long time ago. When Pat McAfee was doing his regular weekly interview with Aaron Rodgers, then Aaron Rodgers came on and took a swipe at Jimmy Kimmel, Pitaro wasn't happy about that. Pitaro told McAfee that such incidents need to be avoided and that conspiracy theories by guests should be fact-checked in real time. Again, this is according to the Wall Street Journal. Meanwhile, the liberal hosts on ESPN can pretty much say whatever they want, whenever they want, and they never get fact-checked. I guess that's a side benefit of being in the hive mind of liberal politics. But there's no doubt that things at ESPN are getting a little tense politically. And the recent trigger was the bloodbath hoax that ran wild across all of mainstream media, including ESPN. Anyone with a functioning brain knew immediately that this was a hoax. And after all, the mainstream media has been doing this for years. And they've been doing it for years because they've gotten away with it for years. This doesn't happen by accident. This is what they do. And it's always worked because there's never been an immediate way to refute them, and because a lot of people just don't pay attention. Mark Twain had a famous quote about it: "A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes." And an updated version of that by Winston Churchill says, "A lie gets halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on." What both of these men were essentially describing was the business model of the mainstream media. You put something out that you know isn't true, but you don't care, because it doesn't matter. All you have to do is put it out there and let it run wild. And before anyone knows any better, it's on every television station, every radio host is talking about it. It has spread across the world like a wildfire before anybody even notices. They don't care at all about retractions. They don't even care if the lie gets found out. Their main purpose is to gaslight their audience. And why wouldn't they? It's worked for decades. And it worked as recently as the last election. But back then, they controlled Twitter. But in this instance, the media got caught in a web of lies, and those lies caused the internet, basically Twitter, X, to immediately fact check the same media that amplified the hoax. And boy, did they amplify a hoax, because they've been saying bloodbath for everything for years. Check this out.
But as Politico.com reports tonight on the, quote, bloodbath at the RNC,
headlines calling it a, quote, bloodbath.
Be a bloodbath. Not only is it going to be a bloodbath, but after they leave New Hampshire, it's a bloodbath on her home turf. That's really tough.
Trump has left a lot of corpses in his wake. I mean, we can count the bodies as part of the, quote, MAGA drive to take over Maricopa County. And the headline refers to it as an impending bloodbath.
columnist Charles Blow has a new piece for the New York Times entitled A Biden Bloodbath.
2018 midterms, you can bet that they 100% are fearing a slaughter. In fact, the word bloodbath and massacre come up frequently.
The Republican Party will be destroyed. It's going to be a bloodbath.
There's going to be a bloodbath one way or the other.
Bloodbath for Bernie.
Imagine my surprise in seeing all of this, that they were referring to bloodbath over and over and over again. Didn't have a problem with it then.
Sanders.
It's been a bloodbath. They're shaping up to be a bloodbath.
Head off a bloodbath in next year's crucial midterm.
Off-year elections are often a bloodbath.
This week's bloodbath for Democrats, a bloodbath at the ballot box.
Boy, did Joy Reid look different.
Be a Republican bloodbath.
They'll talk about a bloodbath.
It's a bloodbath. I have to talk about you. And
Really, it's going to be a bloodbath all day long.
Is in for a bloodbath.
Hasn't.
You imagine being a writer at any of these news stations, and they just say the same thing over and over and over again. But God forbid somebody else says it.
Been a bloodbath on the way down. Donald Trump bloodbath. Be a bloodbath.
Predicted to be a bloodbath.
May not be the bloodbath.
It would be a bloodbath.
More of a bloodbath.
It's going to be a bloodbath in November.
Possible Biden bloodbath this November.
A bloodbath on Wall Street.
There's going to be a bloodbath
In Alabama into a bloodbath.
Obviously, there was a bloodbath. It was a bloodbath. We're down 800 points.
This bloodbath at Department.
Can you believe this? I don't know if you've seen this before, but I had to show it to you because this is the entire media using the word bloodbath like it's just a part of your everyday conversation.
Department of Homeland Security.
And it's a bloodbath today.
There was going to be this bloodbath.
Election bloodbath.
It could be a bloodbath for them. Bloodbath, possibly. Bloodbath that went through with the Attorney General.
Bloodbath 99 days out. The bloodbath is going to look like
Presided over a bloodbath in the diplomatic corps.
Amazing. Simply amazing. But you would never have seen that if X didn't broadcast that on many, many profiles. Even I retweeted it, re-X'd it, reposted it, whatever they want to call, just to let people know these people are full of crap. And they'll say anything to the noobs out there, the rubes who don't know any better, and just keep perpetuating the same lie over and over and over again. But this one was worse, because they took it completely out of context. And as I showed you in my previous video, Stephen A. Smith was like, hey man, this is wrong. You guys completely blew it. And now, Pat McAfee has said the same thing. After the bloodbath hoax was exposed, Pat McAfee talked about it on his show. After all, isn't this what Jimmy Pitaro, the CEO of ESPN, wanted? He wanted things to be fact-checked. Isn't that true, Jimmy? Let's take a look specifically at what Pat McAfee said.
I assume that'll give it a little bit more context. Context big right now on the internet.
Context is big right now on the internet.
That's cool. I'm happy the bloodbath situation's taking place so that maybe we can continue, to be like, what's the context of what the person's saying?
You should be asking that. When you hear something said on the news, why aren't you saying, I don't know, I saw this snippet, why not show me the entire clip? But they don't do that.
Because as people that have been, thrown right into the fire with.
So he's talking about himself. That's why I wanted to break this down. He's talking about himself, who's been in the fire because of the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. And he's taken so much heat from the bosses at ESPN that he goes, hey man, you have to understand the context. It didn't work then. Now he understands context means everything.
Without any context, I'm happy that there's a little bit more of a, wait a minute, should we maybe hear how that was said? Or what that was said about? This is a good thing. This is a good thing. Shout out to X doing that.
Yeah, keep that going.
Yeah, let's keep that rolling. That was why.
Need it.
as I was watching it all unfold on my algae, I'm like, somebody thank you for really addressing this, because I think everybody does. And it's not to blame the people that read the things that are out of context for feeling the way you feel, because what you are being told is certainly something that should make you feel that way. But what a lot of us are saying is that person's trying to make you feel that way by saying that. They're trying to make us look like assholes. That is not the context of the entire clip. So I'm happy that we're potentially entering a time where we are going to try to gather context around things. That's good for society.
Yeah, it is.
That's exactly what we're trying to do right now.
That's exactly what we're trying to do right now. The entire bloodbath thing underscored what Pat McAfee has been going through with ESPN, and he found it to be completely revealing and associative as he said, wait a minute, I've been in this fire. I'm the one who's been taking the grenades. I've been taking this for a couple years at this point, and you guys take things out of context and have been using it against me. And then he said, thank you, X, for being there. Thank you for exposing the absolute lies in the media and what the pundits and other people have been saying. He's been attacked by everybody, including wackos like Keith Olbermann, who go out there and tweet stuff about him. But now he understands there is support. There is something for people who don't hear the whole story, but can now see it and hear it on X to verify what was actually said. One of the things that drives Twitter/X is that it's very popular with sports fans. And as I found out here on my channel, sports fans come in all colors and political affiliations. It's funny, ESPN, the so-called worldwide leader in sports, hasn't accepted that data point and has never even acknowledged it. Sports fans are from both sides of the aisle. I'm not sure why ESPN doesn't understand that. And that's why recent statements by Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith are resonating. You may not be a Pat McAfee fan, but what he said was 100% right. If Elon Musk wasn't in control of Twitter, I doubt most people would have seen the truth exposed that quickly. Unfortunately for Jimmy Pitaro and other left-leaning media types, X is transparent, it's immediate, and it's extremely accurate. And like Pat McAfee said, that's a good thing for society. So let me know what you think in the comments about the entirety of the bloodbath hoax and Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith both talking out about it. The truth will always prevail if you can find the truth. And now we can. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.